Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to talk about a small project where we will be using all the basic CloudFormation blocks which we have used. For example, parameters. We are going to use resources block. We are using output block, and with the help of all these blocks we are trying to deploy an EC2 instance. And furthermore, we will be using a user data to deploy a web app, and then we are going to deploy Apache, and then basically we are trying to uh, start a web application or web server on that particular EC2 instance. So in this video, if you see this particular template, I have made some specific changes in the deploy.sh. So package.sh remains same, but in deploy.sh what I'm going to do is I will be taking a variable directly from the user. So user will be giving the input variable, and then I am using those environment variables inside my main template. So you can see that I have defined a key name and the environment, two information which I'm using or defining through as a parameter. So for this example, I do not need to access directly to the EC2 instance, as we can do most stuff by accessing the just web URL with the help of a DNS or public IP. But just in case if we need to access the EC2 instance, this key will help us to you can say to access the instance. We cannot create the key with the help of CloudFormation. So what you can do is you can go to EC2 instance console. From there you can create a key, download the key, and then you can define that key from your CloudFormation. In the parameter, I am using this key name, which is having type is AWS EC2 key pair key name, and I am defining the variable value as Ansible. I'm using the default value here. I have not defined that value inside deploy.sh parameters, but I have defined that environment variable as input variable from the user. And then in the resources, you can see that this is a web server security group. So we need to create a group, number one. Okay, so in order to create a EC2 instance, I need to create two resources. One is the EC2 instance, and other thing is I need to create a security group, because as we are going to allow the traffic on port 80, so it is very important to customize the security groups. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a security group in which you can see that I have allowed TCP protocol on 22, just in case if I want to SSH into this EC2 instance. I have also allowed traffic on port number 80, and I am also allowing that traffic from anywhere. Like, I'm not defining any static IP or any specific IP. It is just any IP from anywhere you can access port number 80 and port number 22. And then I am going to define this web server instance configuration. Here you can see that I'm using instance type as t2.micro. I have just used hardcode values, and in the key name I will be referring to the key name which I have deployed above as a parameter over here. And then I will be go and use this security group which I have just created over here. I will be referencing to this security group, and then here I am defining the user data. As soon as the machine will be ready to deploy, it has basically updated the OS. It has also installed HTTP, which is Apache, and it has also started HTTP service. This will help us to access the website. And one thing which I want to indicate is image ID, which is Amazon Linux 2, which I'm using here for this, and for this small project you can say that. Alright, so let's get started. Here I am just defining an output, where an output is I'm just taking directly the value of the DNS from the EC2 instance. This is just a get attribute parameter which I'm taking directly from the EC2 instance. Alright, so here you can see that I am already in the console. So let me do that. I may need to go to the specific alright, so I need to be in EC2 user data. Alright, you can also copy this particular repository if you want to practice this lab. So let's do package.sh. For packaging I do not need to environment, but I need to define the environment for deploy when I'm going to deploy this resource. So just in case, let's say I am not going to define this environment variable, what happens? So let's say I have deployed dev.deploy.sh. I press enter. It is giving me an error, no environment provided. So I have to provide either dev UAT prod. So let's me do that. I'm going with UAT. So here you can see that it has asked deploy configuration. I'm getting this information. So tech seclan, I have just changed the CloudFormation template name. All right. And the region is AP Southeast 2. Confirm change set. Confirm change set means it will ask me to proceed. So if you see here, deploy this change set, it is asking me. Okay. So this is about that option. And disable rollback, I have make it false. Deployment S3 bucket, none. And yeah, pretty much we are using standard. So here you can see that I'm going to create two resources, right? One is EC2 instance and one is web server security group. So just remember one thing, the CloudFormation tool is quite smart enough. If you are going to create a resource, for example, if you are going to create EC2 instance and you are creating the security group later, then what happened? When we are going to create EC2 instance, it needs a security group previously configured or created. So what exactly happening here? It will create the security group first so that it can then reference to the EC2 instance creation. So let's go over here and I will proceed with yes. All right. So as soon as I proceed with yes, what happens? So now you can see that review in progress means it has start creating the resources. When I press yes, then it start create in progress. So now you can see that it's in create in progress. And if I click on this stack, now you will be able to see all these instances. Let me try to maximize the screen and you should be able to see. So here you can see that web server security group. This is create complete. All right. So you can see that we have one resource available right now, which is security group. And this is create in progress. Okay, so web server instance is in progress right now, and let me show it shows me the message create complete, right? And this is the website URL. We will give it some time because right now what exactly happening, we have given some user data and it will take some time to create the Amazon instance and to install all those updates and make EC2 instance available for this checking. So let's do one thing. Let me go to EC2 and see what's status over there. I'm now in EC2 management console. So let's go to instance. Just make sure you are inside your specification where you're creating the resource. As sometimes it switches the zones and regions, so it becomes an issue for you. Just make sure this is there. And now you can see that this is the web server instance which we have created. It's in the status of running. This is the T2 top micro, but status is initializing. So we have to wait for this instance until it becomes fully available. So keep on refreshing. All right. So now you can see that it's 2x2 check passed, which means our machine is available. So either you can copy this URL and paste over here. So you can see that welcome to my Apache server in UAD. This is a customer's message which I have displayed. Okay. And let's do the same thing with the help of this output. So I am using this is the advantage of output, you remember. So if I want to use this particular web server for any other application, I can just reference to this output by importing this value. So I have to export and then I have to import this value over there. So this is currently available. Now I can see that in outputs, this is the website URL. Let me click on this website. Same results. So we have successfully installed Apache Web Server in the EC2 instance, and which is also working fine without any issues. So this is a small project which we have just deployed with the help of CloudFormation. So thank you so much, and see you in the next video.